Hey, welcome back, race fans, into Pitts Racing Radio again, Saturday morning right here, 106.7 The Fan, part of CBS Sports in the nation's capital. And it is a great weekend here in the United States. It is the 4th of July weekend. Mom, Apple Pie, Chevrolet.
God bless America.
God bless America, and God bless the young Americans over there in Europe kicking some European butt,
God bless Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the air from Italy right now, the winner of last week's MotoGP. First time in 5 years that an American has taken that podium. Please say hello to Ben Spies. Good morning, Ben.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing good, man. How about you?
Oh, good. Just getting ready for dinner, actually, for me. So it's a little later in the day over here.
Yeah, exactly. How do you like living in Italy, man?
Yeah, it's really good. You know, it's 180 degrees for sure from what I'm used to, but it's it's really nice, and it makes it from a traveling standpoint. We travel so much, obviously, that when we only have the weeks off or the 10 days off, and you don't have to have so much jet lag, and you get to eat some really good food too. So it's nice being here.
Yeah, but they probably don't have any really good ribs over there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different food. The pizza and all that stuff is really good here, but they definitely don't have the normal waffles and scrambled eggs for breakfast and stuff like that.
Now, wait a minute. He's from Texas. He'd be looking for brisket.
Ben, how important was it for you at the 50th anniversary of Yamaha's involvement in Grand Prix racing to bring home a win for that team?
I mean, anytime you win a MotoGP race is that's it. It's like, it's the Formula One of motorcycles for us. But for me, last weekend, Assen is the oldest circuit on the calendar, and for Yamaha being the 50th anniversary, it's the first weekend we ran the red and white colors. For all the advertising they did, and for it to come together the way it did for my first win, for all the, like I said, all the promotion stuff they did, and the special colors, it couldn't have come at the more perfect time, and for my confidence too, for being only the second year in GP, it's it's a dream come true. But it was like I said, it was a hectic weekend the way the weather was, and we just all came together, and Yamaha gave me a great bike, and I didn't make any mistakes, and rode good, and we did it as a team for sure. It wasn't just me at all, and I gotta take my hats off to the my mechanics there, and just Yamaha in general. It was a fantastic weekend.
Hey, Ben, this is Ken. You got a birthday coming up just in about a week now, a little bit more than a week. You going to celebrate at Mugello?
Hopefully we'll be celebrating again there. It'd be nice, but we can't get ahead of ourselves either. We got to approach every weekend just like it's a new weekend and give it 100%. But at least we've got that win out of the way, and now I don't have to worry. Is it going to happen or when's it going to happen? Now we can just concentrate on just attacking every weekend. So it'd be nice to be celebrating again in Mugello. That's for sure.
Ben, I had to watch the race on a tape delay. I got home. It was about midnight. I was on my couch. I was standing on my couch yelling, screaming. My neighbors probably hate you right now. What was on your mind knowing that in your second year of GP, going into the last lap, that you were going to be on the top spot of the podium?
There was a few things going through my head. The whole race, what felt good was we had control of the race, and I felt like I had Casey in control, which doesn't happen very often. And like I said, the race went perfect for us, but 4 second lead the whole race, and the name under the gap is Stoner. It doesn't make you rest too easy. So it was a long race, but then, with 2 laps to go, it stretched out to 7 seconds, and I knew we had it. I knew we had it with about 8 to go, but the last couple laps, I just started thinking, I was like, there's no way there's anybody ahead of me right now. I mean, I think I'm actually leading this race, and we're going to win it. So that went through my head, and then the last lap, it was just, mainly a lot of emotions, a lot of, the feeling was great, but also a great, there was a relief. When I crossed the line, there wasn't a big wheeler standing up on the pegs. It was more just like I just took a big breath and was like, did it. There was a lot of relief there, and that's what was going through the head. I'm still soaking it in, and it's just still fully hadn't sunk in yet. It's going to take a little while.
You're listening to In the Pits Racing Radio. We're talking with Ben Spies, who won his first MotoGP race last week. He lives in Italy. And, Ben, you had a pretty good gap there from the start, and I think I saw you on Wind Tunnel, and you said that it was a manageable gap. But what kinds of things are the crew telling you during the race?
Yeah, like I said, we got up to 3.5, 4 seconds, and Casey put a little bit of a push in about 10 laps in, and it was nice. Anytime he took a tenth or two out of me a lap, I could put it back and I could go faster, and we knew that. I could take some risks, but I wasn't having to. The bike was perfect. I wasn't having to ride at the max the whole race for sure. There was a couple laps where I had to put in pretty hard. Really just they were keeping me updated on my board with the gap, and there's a couple jumbotrons around the track that the riders can actually see, so I could see where everybody was, what they were doing and their races, and then with about 10 to go, because we've led a bunch of races in World Superbike and won races from the front, but never a MotoGP race. And I think my crew chief and the crew forgot they thought I forgot how to lead a race, and with about 8 to go under my 5.5 gap, it just said in big caps, it said okay, and I was like, I know I'm good. They were trying to get me to slow down, but I was in such a good rhythm. It felt nice just to ride my own race, but I think they were more nervous than I was, and just wanted me to bring it home. But it felt great, and we could have continued on, and like I said, they just kept me updated, and that was pretty much all they could do.
Hey, Ben, I want to shift gears on you a little bit. We've talked to a lot of Americans that have raced in Europe, from Mario Andretti right on down. How are you accepted, or how does the fan base accept an American racing in Europe, and now kicking butt? I mean, how does that work for you?
I mean, it's, living in Italy, the Italians are definitely very passionate about motorcycling, and that they know I live in Como, it makes them, very proud just even before I won. But just now being back in the last couple of days, we were just in the center an hour ago, and I went in to grab a Coke, and it was a free Coke. So I mean, it's definitely it's always been quite a bit different for me living in Italy, racing, and just being out of the United States, just because there's more of a following here. But now that obviously the wind's happened, I mean, there's been banners in the city, and just the country in general has been super pumped for me to win. And even before that, though, they were just being a motorcycle racer and being a MotoGP, living in Italy, is the fan support has been, it's been great. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. And obviously this win came at a time now where they're a little happier than I am right now, and I just got to let it soak in and realize what all's happened.
Now, Ben, the Hondas have been very, very tough this year, and obviously Casey Stoner's sort of been tearing it up out there. Was it a strategy in your guys' mind to try and get to the front as fast as possible and have Casey try and chase you guys down, or is that just the way things worked out?
It was just the way things worked out. With the accident on the first lap, I had kind of a free second and a half in hand, and then we established the gap after that the next couple laps. And the only thing I was a little bit worried about was the way the conditions were. The track was dry, but just had dried, so it was very cool conditions, and we had to run a soft tire that I really don't prefer. I was worried after about 10 laps what the bike was going to do with that, but also pretty much everybody on the grid, and I knew Casey prefers the hard tire too, and he was on the soft tire, so I was a little worried what my bike was going to do, if I was going to be able to maintain the pace. But I knew in the back of my head too that Casey was on the same front tire as me, and I kind of, I felt I was good when the tires get greasy and start moving around. So that was pretty much it. After I had a 3.5 second lead, I was like, okay, well, if I just don't completely, box this up, I think we can win this thing. And after about 10 laps, I knew I just, couldn't make any mistakes. And then it got easy. In the last 10 laps, we actually just kept stretching the gap out, and it made the last 5 laps, really easy.
Now, Ben, I know they pushed back the test for the new bike until after the Czechoslovakian round. Is there any concerns from a rider standpoint there?
No, I think, Yamaha has been working on the 1000 for a while. We've been working kind of on some stuff with the 800 that we'll work on 1,000. We've been trying some different chassis setups and things like that, and I think it can be a blessing in disguise because it's a little bit later that we get to ride it, but also the first test we get to go to. I think we'll have not just the bike to ride, we'll have the bike to ride plus some parts to actually test to send them in a direction for the second test. So I think it's actually really good, and I'm happy about it because I know why it has been delayed, and I'm not at all worried, and I know we're going to be, starting out on, and I couldn't be happier with some of the numbers I've seen. So we just got to wait, and I think, like I said, it can be a blessing in disguise with more parts to test.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, Ben, we certainly appreciate you taking your time out of your evening over there in Cuomo, and I believe George Clooney lives over in Cuomo as well, as far as I remember. But
yeah, just down the street.
Might see Max Pappas over there too.
Exactly, Max Pappas as well. So it's a very familiar place. Hey, man, it's the 4th of July weekend. God bless America to you and everybody over there on your team, and we look forward to having you on the air and have a great season.
Okay, thank you.
All right, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Spee's on the phone with us right there on In the Pits Racing Radio. Well, what do you think, guys? I mean, is this a freak, that Ben Spees wins a MotoGP race, or is the kid the real deal and Yamaha's going to march in the front now?
You're talking about a guy that tore up AMA. I mean, tore it up from every class in AMA, went to World Superbike in his rookie season. He wins the championship. Obviously, this kid's not a freak.
And I think he raises a very interesting point in that new bike being pushed back. They're not going to test it until after the Czechoslovakian round. And he brings up a very interesting point. I would have thought that would have been something that might have hurt the team, but the fact that they're going to have extra parts and some extra test points when the bike is ready, then it may be an advantage. As he said, a blessing in disguise.
I think it's pretty cool, man, the guys over there. It's interesting because I get the impression that he's like a local hero amongst the Italians,
You got a free Coke.
free. Now he needs his free gas. I'm sure he's getting free food over there. Cuomo's a really big tourist-type town. It's quite an expensive place to live and go to. So
yeah, the American MotoGP racers actually are very, very well received in Europe. Surprisingly so, in my mind. Colin Edwards is thought of very, very highly over there, and obviously Nicky Hayden, when he won the world championship, he was very well respected over there, and they're treated well here. So when they come to the United States for the two GP races here, they get treated well. So I think there's a kinship. There's definitely a kinship there that goes on.
And I think one of the reasons is this is the pinnacle of the sport, and this is not easy to do. And these are the top guys in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, he said it appropriately. It's like winning an F1 race.
Sure.
And for an American to win an F1 race, that's been a really long, long time ago. So, hats off to the guy.